What's up, bros? Welcome to another Brograph Brocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And we are back hanging in there.
You're barely hanging in there.
Hanging in there. So, like I always say, well, we'll try and make it a short show.
Yeah.
And it always ends up being 2.5 hours. But
this one is going to be a 4-hour show.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Good Lord, I have low-level infection all throughout my body, and it's not going away.
Mm-hmm.
And
see, here's the thing. You work out all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me like you get plenty of sleep. You think you don't, but I think you get a fair amount of sleep. And you eat healthy, and you feel like crap all the time. See, me on the other
sleep.
Okay, me on the other hand, today I picked up a bag of cookies, a box of Twinkies, some donuts, the powdered sugar ones, and right now I'm drinking a Surge, and I feel amazing.
Yeah, except right before the show when you told me you're so tired and feel so worn out.
That was just because it's 10 o'clock at night, and this is normally my bedtime.
Well, I'm actually very wired because I got a big old steroid shot in the butt.
Did you really get it in your butt?
That's where you have to get it. It's like in the hip above your butt. It's not in your butt,
okay.
But
see, that would have been awesome.
Everybody always
straight
says.
Up in your butt.
That's what everybody always says. I got a shot in my butt. And that's really whatever. But if you're just joining us, welcome to the show. This is a motion graphics podcast where we talk about things related to motion graphics and the business of motion graphics.
Our main focus is Cinema 4D and After Effects.
4D. And we also I kind of have it as a supplement to our website, which, someday we'll have some more tutorials.
One day. It's all right. I think it's because, we really want those tutorials that just blow your mind.
Yeah.
They're just like you can't live without.
Well, here's the thing. I really am going to attempt to get that going the next couple weeks before I head back out on the road again. Because I just haven't been home much. And the thing is that...
Gosh, you sound horrible.
I think when I do it, it's weird. Like, I haven't lost my voice. I'm just like, maybe it's the steroids. But the thing about it is the day that I do some new tutorials, I'm going to do like a whole crap load of them. So that'll be fun. And we'll finally kind of like roll them out after that, I think. So it'll happen.
Roll them out.
I know people want them. It's cool.
And maybe next month will be the month of tutorials. And with the other thing, the release of R18 and stuff like that.
Yeah, R18, and we're going to be rolling out some of the video from DFW C4D.
Which is officially...
the 20th.
The 20th of September, yeah. So, you can hit up half res on the 14th and then just fly your buns down to Dallas and come hang out with us.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be near as cool as half res because they've been practicing for a while. We want this to kind of be the Dallas half res in a way, or maybe not even half res, but Chicago C4D is probably a better example because we just want to get people who are here locally super excited about it. It doesn't you don't have to fly down for it. You can watch the video, but like people who are around this area, even if you're not into, even if you don't use Cinema 4D, it's really great to just kind of get into graphics or talk to people even who are doing it, because you can network with those people if you're a video
networking
producer.
Stuff. Yeah.
Synergy.
It's great. What's the word? Exposure.
You might die of exposure. So I'm really happy with it. We put the tickets out there, the free tickets by the by, and we put them out there and they're like totally the first day we got 30 something signups, which is great.
Yeah.
Because I'm,
we were worried we'd only have it would be us two watching Barton speak.
Right, exactly. I'm like, we want to have somewhat of an audience. I don't care if it's small. It's just if it's enough for us to have like a nice little community. We're going to have drinks, and it's going to be a good time. And so we're not going to get too technical with it, and it's not going to be that long. Like, it's going to be.
I was thinking about because we sent out an email to the DPA, which is the Dallas Producers Association, and I don't know how many of them use Cinema 4D or whatever. And I was
probably
thinking
more After Effects.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. I was thinking about doing a talk or something on incorporating Cinema 4D Lite into your After Effects workflow.
Yeah, that would be cool. So we're thinking like an hour and a half, something like that, and then you can use the rest of the time. Everybody can talk to each other.
Yeah, totally.
'Cause I think people are going to have a lot of questions.
Yeah, totally.
So,
maybe we'll bring a Monster Mac up there or something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and we're going to also record it as Brograph Talks that we'll post.
Totally.
So people can check it out if you aren't able to make it to Dallas. Man, I'm real excited about that. We got to kind of prep a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy few weeks or something, because you're going to be out of town. You're going to be out of town, and then you're going out of town right after half res. You're not even coming home with me.
No, and then I'm coming back for a day, and we're doing the thing, and then I'm flying out again.
Yeah,
to Denver. So it's gonna.
Can I tell you how much I appreciate you for doing that?
I'm going from EJ Hassan Pepper's hometown, I guess, or where he was living to where he's living now. The next week.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that.
But I'm going to be too far away from him, unfortunately, to hang out.
Yeah, but we'll see him at half res.
We will, and super stoked about that.
Yeah.
Because we worked it all out.
Yeah, we got a super sweet Airbnb. Yeah. And 5 of us are going to be there. David.
Yes.
His fiance.
Mrs.
EJ.
Are you going to the mall today?
Yeah. David, are you going to the mall today? And us two. We're all going to be there partying, having a good time. So if you're going to half res, hit us up. Maybe we'll party after the... And our Airbnb...
No parties, according to the Airbnb. No parties.
Is that what it says?
No parties. Get-togethers, on the other hand.
Yeah, we'll have a small get-together. But man, this Airbnb is sweet. It looks out all of the beautiful Chicago.
It's a great tax write-off, EJ said.
Downtown Chicago.
Yeah, EJ was like, it's going to be a great tax write-off, that's for sure. It was a little spendy, but we're splitting it up, so it's not that bad. And
no, I mean, it's cheaper, per person is cheaper than getting a hotel down there. Man, those hotels are so expensive. It's so funny. The flights to Chicago from Dallas are dirt cheap, but the hotels, it's that's where you're going to spend all your money. Normally, it's the other way around. Your flight's really expensive and the hotel's relatively cheap, Of course, that's where I'm staying.
And I
bring my wife along, and she's like, she can't stay in these Super 8 motels. I learned that the first month we were married.
EJ is looking at some places. We're going to go check out some breweries. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
You guys have fun.
I know you want to see
nope.
Whatchamacallit.
No, I will tell you, the Chicago Museum and Planetarium and the
Planetarium.
And the Planetarium and the aquarium. The aquarium is my absolute favorite aquarium I've ever been to. Those museums are incredible, and I will not miss those because I've been wanting to go back since I was 18.
Oh, yeah. See, I've been to Chicago a lot of times.
See, I haven't.
So that's probably,
I mean, I've been to Chicago a lot of times. I've just never been for business, and it's always been on business. I've never had time to go see the sights.
Right. Man, it's weird. I might sound awful, but I am so jacked right now. I wish I could feel this awake when we were doing the podcast every week.
Here's what I will say. I have been in excruciating pain for 2 weeks now. Today's the first day that I have not been in pain.
Yeah, you and I are working on getting on the same health level.
Well, the whole teeth thing, I've been working on getting my teeth back in order because I did not take care of myself when I was in my 20s, And so finally I was like, I got to get my teeth taken care of, and, basically broke the bank in order to get my teeth taken care of, and they put a filling in too high, and so my bite, all the pressure was going to this one tooth. That's what was happening while we were in whatchamacallit, That one place that we were at. Gosh, I've done so much traveling.
Where were we? Columbus.
Columbus, yeah. When we were in Columbus, I was like,
show.
I was like sucking on ice the whole time, just trying to. So then
you had ice packs on your face as we were doing the show.
Yeah,
we're watching you in Skype.
It was awful. I thought like my gums were infected or something. So then I go in Monday, and then they like shave down a whole bunch of it, and they give me gas, of course, and they give me a shot. So the whole left side of my face is numb, and I just feel amazing because I got no pain. Well, then, they trimmed it down too much or something, and then all the pressure was going onto another tooth, but it wasn't as bad. So I finally got that fixed today, and hopefully when I wake up tomorrow, I'll be feeling amazing.
Well, we're trying to work this stuff out because, we've been teeter-totting into Saturday. Or I'm sorry, at the Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
Like when we're going to do this, we might stick with the Sunday. It's just like the schedule is just kind of crappy right now.
And what I'll say, I really like Sundays. I feel like our listeners, we get a lot more listeners when we push it out on Sundays versus on Mondays. I feel like the listener count goes down a whole lot more.
I think we'll try.
So what? Try Mondays?
I think we should try sticking with Sundays if we can. The problem too is that the internet.
Yeah, my stupid internet.
Like I used to post it right away because I would get the file within minutes, and now we get done at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and then it takes me an hour before I even get your file. And so I'm like, I'm just going to do it in the morning because it's not that big of a difference.
Maybe because I've got 2 internets at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I could clip my clip or my audio into 2, and you do half on one and half on the other.
That's funny. Actually, we should talk about this after the show, but I want to say that there is a way that you can combine both of your internets together somehow into one. You have a Mac Pro Tower, right?
I do.
You have 2 Ethernet jacks on it.
Yeah, I do.
You could put both internet onto that computer at the same time.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll try it out.
We need to look into that.
I don't have an Ethernet hookup down here. I have to use one of those power line things. Have you heard of them?
I think that's part of the problem.
Well, I don't use that now. I've actually got an Ethernet jack for my internet. It's just for the other internet that we've got here. My non-work
we might be able to work
internet.
that out. So we're trying to get that stuff worked out. So bear with us. And what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say blame AT&T or Charter Spectrum.
I'm sure but nobody has a problem blaming AT&T.
Yeah.
So last week, I just got back in town, and I just wanted to reiterate how great it is to work with people that are just so freaking amazing at what they do.
Dude, your people that you work with are so professional. Like it's
insane.
They joke around, they have a good time, but man, when it comes down to business, it's like they are all business. And it's amazing. What amazed me at that show was that Dave's running graphics for a tour called the Belong Tour, right now. And so I went up to Columbus. It was not last week and the weekend before or something like that, and got to see him, how they set it up and blah, blah, blah. And it's running like 5 o'clock or something. And I was like, so when are you guys going to do like a run through or something? And they're like, oh no, we don't do a run through. The first show is our run through. Yeah. So it's like, and it was so crazy to me how like professional everyone was, and how like it's the type of show that you only wish that you could pull off, and you guys just did it flawlessly.
It's because we've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
And we talked about it a little bit last week, but I just wanted to mention that because, a lot of my analness comes from being in that environment.
Yeah, for sure.
This week was not a full, week of rehearsals and a show. It was show up at 10 a.m. and the show starts at 7 p.m.
And you got to like hook everything up, right?
Yeah. And, there's only so much that I personally do in that area now. Because there's other video guys that take care of that kind of stuff. And when we're in such a tight amount of time. Like I have to get in and just start working on changes and revisions and stuff. Like this week especially, because it was the first one like this with just a 1-day load in. It was like super down to the wire. Like I started working and I just kept going, I barely stopped to eat. Just to get it.
Which is a shame because that catering was the bomb.
But the thing about it is, like, there is no room for failure.
Yeah.
There's no room for screwing up. Not that it's never going to happen, but like you have to get everything perfect. And so, it's a mentality and it's a way of doing things that I have learned from these awesome people over the years, and it has helped me in everything.
Yeah.
That I do, and like I'm super grateful for that. So it's fun, and I keep getting pulled out of retirement to go do these road shows.
It's all right.
But
I mean, it's good pay. I think
road pay is always good pay.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. You're getting paid not just for your skill, but you're getting paid because you're traveling to go do that skill too.
Yeah, totally.
Road pay is always pretty great. So, yeah. So, I see you did the Feel the Bab thing, and it went over really well.
Yeah. We've been talking about doing that, and we're totally going to turn it into a t-shirt. So,
and speaking of awesome people, Paul Babb, who is the CEO,
he's incredible.
Maxon. Mm-hmm. It was all from a conversation that was on Facebook or something between, who was it?
It was you, EJ, and Barton, I believe.
Okay. I was just talking about, I don't remember who even brought it up. I think it was EJ or somebody it was Barton who said, I don't remember, who said there should be a Feel the Bab t-shirt. He should run for president or whatever. And so you made the actual design, which Paul retweeted, which was great. He loved it.
Yeah, we're gonna make a few of the t-shirts and then send it off to the Maxon offices so that they can wear them around the office.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. And EJ retweeted about it. He said he'll break up the Big Bank 3D models in Cinema 4D R18 using Veroni fracture.
Yeah, no more turbo squid.
And then there's the last show.
Did you see that article? It was like it was like back in May or something, where BMW was basically suing Turbo Squid for putting BMW like I don't know. They didn't like that people were selling BMW models on their site.
I always wondered about that. Like, how the legality of that works with anything.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to me like, I don't know. It seems to me like if someone actually makes the models themselves and doesn't like steal the CAD drawings and just repurpose it,
Well, it's the selling part of it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me like it should be fine, but then again, it is technically their intellectual property,
right. How do you don't know how that turned out or anything, or
I don't know. I didn't look into it too much, but this is kind of a transition into one of the topics that I wanted to talk about, but we'll hold off. We'll get there.
Well, on the last show, the follow-up from the last show, man, it's so funny. It's so funny that we edited anything out of that at all.
Dude, I don't know. I seriously think it was so much. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to pieces here and there. My wife did. She liked it. My wife. And I don't know. And my brother-in-law listened to it. He texted me. He said, "Hey, I listened to your show. I liked it. Did the Cubs win the World Series?"
Yeah.
So,
and that was the first show he listened to.
Yeah.
Which is funny. The thing about it is like, it took me so long to edit. It took me like 4 or 5 hours. To do the actual edit, and usually that's probably only a small portion of the process.
I don't know. I think next year for our annual look into the future, let's just like leave everything in there.
Oh man, it was so bad.
Oh my gosh.
The points where like you would make a joke or try to make a joke and you're like, wait, let me start over. And you do it again and then you'd be like, I'm sorry, that was awful. You can cut that out. I'm like, yeah, okay.
You need to put the whole thing just up there and just be like, all right, this is it if you want to hear it. Or just give it to me and I'll put it up there.
I had some really good outtakes and I screwed up the thing at the end by accident. So I only had the grayscale gorilla. That was so freaking funny. Like, and even the edit on that the outtake on that was edited down.
Yeah.
We were just...
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I was
crying for 5 minutes.
Was so
it's
funny.
Like, and that was at the beginning. We're like, oh my gosh, this is going to take all night to record. So it was an interesting experiment.
Yeah, it was definitely fun.
We got a couple of people tweets.
Either took it too seriously or maybe we're taking their comments too seriously.
Yeah, or I mean, I'm kind of out of it. So I got the one today from Tim Grady, and he said, for 3 dudes that just went to the future and back, you don't know shite. Please don't imply that Octane 4 was barely released 10 years from now. And then he says, Brigade 3.1 should be public in less than 72 months. And like me being like...
Dave automatically goes on the defensive.
I had just had my shot.
So he was full of...
And 15 vials of blood drawn from me. And I read that. And I didn't
understand... From his
understand,
new doctor, Dr. Acula.
Yeah. And I didn't understand the 72-month thing. And I'm like, is this dude really upset about that? No way. I'm like, is it really?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, please don't be upset about that because it's just a joke.
Yeah, I think he was playing with you.
Yeah, I think so. I realized it after the fact. But then we did get an email from somebody who asked us not to make the podcast political because we made the Hillary joke.
And Hillary took away all of our guns.
Yeah, but then just went on like to tell us about the right and Republicans. Don't listen to the Republican rhetoric and something about the Bush administration and don't give in to Republican leaders. You're smarter than that.
I read something to get into a political discussion and turn this podcast into a political debate.
Oh, please don't.
No, I read something.
Do that.
I read something the other day that I thought was very interesting. It said it said something about like basically like gun sales go up anytime like something bad happens because everyone starts saying, you know, so-and-so is going to take away your guns, so-and-so is going to take away your guns, blah, blah, blah. And really, I think it's all the gun manufacturers saying, you know, so-and-so is going to take away your guns in order to sell more guns.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, every time something like that happens, my dad goes out and buys a new gun.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm not bashing this person.
No.
Who said it at all. Like, he even said, I still love you guys. I have a blast listening to the show. I'm just saying, like, we are like so far from hardcore right-wing gun clinging. What does Sarah Palin say?
I don't know.
Like, we are so...
I can see Russia from my front porch.
Right.
I don't know what she says.
Like, we're so far from that. We're totally just joking because all I hear all day, every day from half of my friends is Obama's going to take my guns. We just thought it was a funny joke. That's all it was. Yeah. Like, it's totally, don't worry about it. We're just messing around.
I have a love-hate relationship with guns. That's me.
No, I agree with that. I can agree with that. But then we also got some other feedback, which was funny. Steven Kugler said, he said, oh man, you guys got me. I was listening to the new episode and I really started to Google if there is a CC subscription with Cinema 4D Studio. And then Josh Foster said, love the episode.
Here's the thing. Dave wanted to start off the show like as like a mind F. You know,
I thought it would have been great.
No. And I was like, no, dude, no. Trust the man who read books and books about comedy. You know, I am the comedy master here.
It's not necessarily comedy.
Yeah, no, come on.
Because let's face it, that show wasn't funny.
Let's face it.
But the thing is,
I was saying, you got to do the setup and the punchline. That's the way it goes. Setup, punchline. And Dave's like, nah, let's just jump into it. Let's just totally just screw with their
because
minds.
I started the show.
Yeah,
and I
he
just
started
went
the show,
right
and I said,
into it.
"Oh no, stop right there."
Yeah, and even David agreed with me, but
Yeah,
he didn't
then
want
he
to.
changed his mind and went with me.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
No, he didn't. No, he was basically like, whatever, y'all. It's whatever. I was just like, it mainly like for me, I wanted to do the whole Mind F thing because I figured as soon as I said the date and the episode number, people would be like, what?
Yeah, no.
You know?
See, it was a problem because like that was the only thing that said we were from the future, in the future, or whatever.
I thought it would have been fun. But mess with people.
I'm telling you, man. Like listening to podcasts, any of the beginning rhetoric or ending rhetoric, I like almost immediately tune out. You know, because it's almost all the same. Like, what's up, Rose? Welcome to Brograph.
So this is what
This is a supplement of blah,
right
blah,
now.
blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like,
But you got to do that intro for people. Like,
of course.
Like, you know, who are new. But I just felt like it would have been a funny thing to just screw with some people. But
anyway, I won, as you can tell, because I am the comedy master. I have read one book on stand-up comedy when I was...
I'm doing air quotes, comedy. I want to hear feedback on that. Like, tell me, would it have been cool if we just went into it and messed with people? Come on now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it'll totally blow their mind, dude.
Blew their mind. And Josh Foster said, love the episode. I kept waiting for a reference about Beeple nearing 20 years of consecutive daily renders.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was really good.
That'd be funny.
Man. Dude, so they're building a building or something. And I saw some pictures of it on Imgur. And I saw the picture and I was like, wow, it's some new building and it almost looks like pixelated. It's really weird
nice.
and really cool. And I looked at it and I was like, wow, that looks like a Beeple render. It was just like a picture. I need to find what it is. Hold on.
That would be funny. Maybe, you know what? Maybe just, oh man, I just thought of something.
What's that?
Maybe Beeple is trapped.
Okay.
He's trapped in a room and he's being forced to make these renders every day.
Oh.
And so in 20 years, like he's still doing them, but there's clues. That's what's going on. There's clues in all of them, right? Mm-hmm. So what we didn't realize was that it's clues to what's going on. It's the, dystopian landscape with the guy looking over it. It's
he's
the
in
Illuminati.
This dystopian landscape.
Yeah. The Illuminati have him there.
He is the lone man standing in a dystopian landscape.
Yes. And all those clues are it's the Illuminati who has him captive, and they're forcing him to make these renders for some reason.
Right? Yeah.
Figured it out.
That's why his emails and his talks are so filled with swearing and stuff because he's just so angry. He's so angry about being forced to do these daily renders.
Yeah, by the Illuminati.
Right.
Man, that's it. There's clues in all of these. We got to go back and look at them now. Especially if you see like a pyramid with an eye in it.
Right, totally.
Yeah, you're going to know.
You know, Benjamin Franklin, dude.
Uh-huh.
That guy. Mm-hmm. Totally Illuminate oddies.
So before we get into the topics, I did want to mention the 5D Mark IV has been announced.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's interesting because...
shoots 4K, right?
It shoots 4K, and I'm just wondering, is the green screen going to be not crappy on it anymore?
Yeah,
because it is an affordable solution for that kind of thing, but we'll see.
Yeah. What's the frame rate?
Working with the Sonys.
What's the frame rate stuff? Like, will it shoot 120 or whatever in
HD?
In HD?
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
From what I could remember. It's been a while since I looked at the spec, but of course, like FS7 and stuff that we've been working with and some of the 4K cameras, it's night and day.
Yeah, it totally is.
Even on like one of the Sonys the FS5?
I don't know.
No, which one is it? The one that only does HD.
Man, it's been...
Even that.
Honestly, I'm not up to date with my cameras. Like, the only cameras I shoot on right now are the 5D and the Sony EX3.
Yeah, but the stuff that we get from clients that's green screen is like we have a large handful of it that is unfortunately 5D, and we've been begging for better cameras. And then some of the other projects we work on are better cameras, and like it's night and day between them. Even like the Sony that does do HD and it doesn't do 4K, it's still 444.
Yeah.
And like the colors, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, you just take the color picker and key light or something in After Effects and you just click and it's like, boom, it's done. There's no weird shadows or stuff going on around people's feet and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just interested to see where that will go, because maybe even kind of the, more like the lower level, low budget type stuff, it will get better in the green screen area. Because sometimes that's just what you got to work with.
Yep.
And you got to deal with it. And you tell them, look, it's not going to look as good as this awesome Sony footage. That we used on this gig over here, but we'll do what we can do.
Or this gig where they put tracking markers on the ground. That would be nice.
Yeah. So, topics.
Yeah. Let's
go to
get
a couple
to topics. Hey, 30 minutes in and we're already at topics.
Oh, wow.
Look at this. We're actually going to hit our goal this week.
We were both out of town on different gigs this week.
Yeah.
Which, you're doing well when you're calling each other from your rental cars and different shoots. But you were working on something and it brought up a good point that I just wanted to bring up. This is topic number 1. And this is about when you're working on, it could be anything. It could be a graphic or an explainer video or a video that you're shooting, whatever it is. And the subject matter is something that you don't agree with.
Right.
And I'm not talking about pornography.
Well, it could be pornography.
I mean, it could be, but that's a different breed of person. Like you're either cool with it or you're not in that case.
Yeah.
That's a little extreme. Yeah. But there's some stuff that's really middle ground. When people are talking about things you don't necessarily agree with. Like, for example, I'm just going to say this, not vaccinating.
Oh, you're making it political.
I'm not making it political.
You just made the podcast political.
No, I'm just saying not vaccinating.
Well, if the vaccines would just stop taking our guns away.
No, we're not. If, in this case, if it's not vaccinating and your stance on it is about vaccination, or you could say it the other way. You could say if it was about making sure that you get your kids vaccinated and you're not for vaccination. Like, that is kind of a middle ground subject where you're going to listen to people talk about science or pseudoscience or junk science, and you might not agree with them, but hey, they're paying you, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of a tough thing to deal with. Now, that in itself isn't as big of a deal as maybe some other topics that get a little more iffy. Right? Like what about, what if it was like a video, a pro or like for or against abortion and you had another stance on it?
Yeah.
That's a hard decision to make because I guess at some point it gets more on the level of morals.
Yeah.
But there's kind of a point where you're like teeter-tottering.
Yeah, really, it is the whole porn thing. Some people are okay with it, some people aren't, and it's like that puts you. I've actually had this happen before where when I went to the Art Institute, they had these postings, job postings and stuff like that. And one of the job postings, or they didn't post it, but my director or the head of the video production came up to me and said, "Hey, do you know Premiere?" I was like, "Yeah, this was when we were all using Media 100 and Final Cut Pro, Final Cut 3, and I was like, "Yeah, I know Premiere." He's like, "Well, I got this guy who, wants to, he called about a job thing and he wants to learn Premiere. Can you teach him how to learn how to do Premiere?" I said, "Yeah, sure. Well, that's fine." And she's like, "I'm not sure about the material though. I think it's kind of questionable." Okay. Well, so I call this guy, blah, blah, blah. Turns out that he shoots porn. You know, that's what he does. And so like I was trying to show him how to edit, you know, using non-porn footage. So, you know, so that I didn't have to deal with that stuff. But man, this guy was weird. You know?
What was he like?
I don't know. He was like, I don't know. It's like this guy assumed that like everyone wanted to see this porn stuff, you know? And he's like showing me these pictures that he took at some like porn convention in Vegas. And I'm like, yeah, that's great, guy. You know, I'm going to charge you $150 an hour to, you know, to whatever, to train.
Which platform did you say again?
Premiere. Yeah, okay. I was teaching in Premiere. I was curious. Really, I only spent like an hour there trying to show him, and it was in like some shady apartment complex, and I was just like, all right, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, I was you know, porn, whatever, you know. But it's like when they're shoving it in your face and stuff like that, it gets a little.
That's what she said. So I was just curious if it was the same guy that I had the experience with training, because I trained somebody on Avid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
was it in some weird apartment complex?
No, here's the thing. So like somebody said their friend needed some help with some video stuff. I was like, okay, I can meet him. He's like, okay, well, he wants to meet at this hotel bar off of 35, like right in that kind of, you know, shady kind of area.
He'll have a drink ready for you. His name is Bill Cosby.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's a nice hotel, but it's just that area where there's lots of adult bookstores across the street and such. Right. And off of Mockingbird.
New Fine Arts.
New Fine Arts.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea.
What are you talking about?
So, so I go there, I'm in the bar, and it's like their hangout place, right? But he's not there. His associate is there. And it's this guy, he's totally typical Italian dude with his shirt totally all the way open and like all this chest hair coming out, right? And like gold.
We're not
chains
stereotyping Italians right here, but you know.
No, well, that's why I said stereotypical.
Right.
Not typical Italian, but stereotypical Italian.
Okay.
Like it's something you would see on TV, right? And he's got all this stuff out, like, and he's got all the rings and the whole thing.
They have lots of gold chains.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He had lots of gold chains, the whole thing. And so,
how many buttons down was his shirt?
Oh man, I mean, it was at least 3.
Okay. And did he have it
was showing.
Did he have a fake tan and like slick back hair? Okay.
The whole thing. So
did he have sunglasses either on his shirt or sitting resting on his head?
He may have.
Okay. Or somewhere around him, like maybe sitting right next to his phone.
This is in like 1999.
That he's constantly on. Okay, never mind. That was a long time ago.
No, he didn't have a phone.
Yeah. No, totally different guy, because mine was probably in 2004.
Oh, he had a pager, but that's just what you had back then.
Right, of course.
And so I sit down. He's like, oh, yeah, have a beer. And we're just waiting on him to show up. And we're waiting on the main guy and get a game of pool in.
In 99?
Yeah.
You weren't 21 yet. You were having a beer?
Yep.
Ah.
And so...
should have known you were in a bad place right there.
Man, I did a lot of underage drinking. So we're shooting some pool and whatnot. And then we sit back down, we have another beer, and finally the guy shows up, and like he's this strung out, lanky, tall white guy, and he comes in with a little Sony, you know, Digi 8 camcorder or something, running in. What's up, guys? You want to see some footage of some monkeys doing it? I'm like, okay. So we talk and whatever, and he's like telling me about what he wants to do. He's got this sweet Avid set up at his house, and we're gonna go check it out. So we talk, and then I don't think it was the same day. I think I went over to his house like the next day, and I pull up. He's got a sweet Porsche in the front, the whole thing. I don't know how. I guess he might have even been talking about it, but he like dealt ecstasy.
Okay.
So that's how he got all his money.
Back
so he
when
had this
ecstasy
really nice.
Was cool. The rave scene.
Oh, dude, 99 ecstasy was totally hot.
Yep.
So
candy flipping like crazy.
Oh man, I'm talking menthol cigarettes and Vicks Vapor Rub.
Finger like dancing and stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
The whole thing. So I pull. He's a super nice house, and I pull up and I go inside. First thing in the living room, there is a giant bed on the floor.
Okay.
With like all the fancy like lacy stuff over it and everything.
Yeah.
Like that's totally where a porn would be shot, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I don't think anything of it at first or whatever. And I go in, he offers me some weed and all this, before we get started, the whole thing, orders a pizza. It's like all talk and no work type situation.
Yeah.
Finally, we get back
like a
there.
normal day with Brograph.
That's right. So finally we get back there, and like he's showing me all the footage that he has. Now, first of all, Mr. Italian guy is in the movie.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so you see where this is going.
Yeah.
And he didn't have all the footage in there yet. He just had the pre-scenes.
Okay.
And this isn't a hardcore porn. This was a like softcore.
Okay.
But still, it was that horrible.
So no dongs.
No, so the dude was, the Italian guy. He's like in his late 40s or whatever, and he's talking to the 20-year-old girl in the movie, like at the hot tub, and
it's the way it works in real life.
Yeah, he's about to totally like get his thing on, and so I'm like showing him how to use an app. I mean, in '99 to own your own Avid.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so expensive.
Yeah, and you were
So
running
expensive.
OS 9.
Yeah, and totally OS 9.
Yeah.
It was a Quadra Pro.
Yeah.
Tower, and like
that's what we had at my high school.
So much, it was like $30,000 at least to buy one of those things. Plus, he had the new one that had the digital interface for the Handycam stuff, for the Digit 8. And like I look at it, like finally, like it dawns on me, like I couldn't have put two and two together. I was young. I was 19 years old, so I was like finally, I'm like, oh, I see where this is going. So it was only like the precursor footage, but I taught him how to edit on an Avid and what the shortcuts were and the whole thing so that he could do his porn. And I never heard anything back after that.
That's funny.
I don't know what happened to the guy. I don't know if he got busted. I mean, who knows? So crazy.
Dealing ecstasy and shooting porn.
It's funny. Like I have a lot
living the dream,
weird stories like that, and I always forget about them until like something reminds me of it. I'm like, oh yeah, that crazy thing happened that one time.
So what did you do once you like realized? Like, were you uncomfortable and you were like, I need to get out of here?
No, here's the thing.
Like, hey, this guy's offering me free weed, ecstasy, and porn.
Right.
Like,
here's the thing. That at that age, I've never done ecstasy, nor did I have any want to, but I hung out with a lot of people who did it all the time. It didn't bug me.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the weed, like that stuff doesn't bug me. And then the editing, it wasn't editing the actual content of the scene. It was just showing, I'm just showing this guy how to use this for money and he's buying me pizza. So like, it's not bugging me at this point, but I can imagine like if it got, if it got to something I was uncomfortable with, I probably would have been like, oh, I didn't realize it was this kind of thing. Now being 19, I probably would have been like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, can you make a copy for me?
Right.
On
but
VHS?
If it was a kind of porn that I didn't like,
right?
Maybe.
Like horse porn?
Yeah, or something like that.
Oh, sorry, you said didn't like.
Oh, didn't like, yes. So, it's when you're asked to do stuff like that, I mean, of course, you got to make a choice, but is money a deciding factor in that?
I don't know. Like, and here's the thing, like going into this shoot or whatever, we didn't necessarily know that it was going to be like just kind of whatever. You guys are totally teaching pseudoscience,
But that kind of is not something that really, it didn't bug me.
It's not something that bugs me. No, I don't care. If you want to make money off of suckers, go ahead. It's whatever.
Right. But it's probably
I'll unfriend you on Facebook so I don't have to listen to your crap.
It's level 1 in the slightly uncomfortable area. For sure. And then, level 2, it would be something like the
one time, okay, I'm thinking of like the levels and stuff.
Yeah.
One of the edits that messed me up the most, that I will always remember, it was a documentary about like the Taliban or something like that, and they did like some dramatizations of these guys being killed and stuff like that, right? Well, at the very end, they showed real footage of someone being shot in the head. That messed me up. And I didn't realize that, because you see all these dramatizations and stuff like that, and you're like, oh yeah, they must have staged that really well because it looks just like this, and then they show the actual footage at the end, and you're just like, when you see someone's eyes go just like dead blank,
right.
that's
weird.
That's kind of messed with me.
But at the same time, the funny part about it is some of that footage is milder than the actual fake version. Sometimes like the stuff they do on TV is much more graphic and
but there's something about someone fake dying, like, say goodbye to my wife and kids for me, but it was my last day on the force. I was one day away from retirement. Versus someone actually dying. Yeah. That, man, it's a whole
being a
different...
former 4chaner, like that I'm a little resistant to that. Like the Taliban videos that they've released, the ISIS ones that they've released recently, I've actually seen most of them.
I don't know how.
Because there's been a lot of talk about their production value and what they've been doing with it, and then some weird oddities in the way they're produced. Like what they will do is they'll start to like chop off a head and they'll fade out. And then they'll fade back into later when the head is just to the side. And a lot of people are like, did they actually do it? Because like, why wouldn't they why would they be saving you your, being grossed out?
I don't know. Maybe it's haram or something like that.
No, they used to show
that. I don't know.
They used to show it. And so, but a lot of people, there's some weird glitches with some weird things. And like, I was just looking at it for the pure political interest and what, people
I'm using air
about
quotes on political interest.
Kind of like that whole conspiracy theory where they're like, well, if you'll notice on this frame that this thing happens. And there's some stuff that like truly is like, people are talking about how things look fake and you can see these flames and you could tell that they were like special effect flames that were added. And then there was like another one where you could tell they were using Twixtor. And that's why people were saying, oh, it's fake. And it's like, no, that's actually what Twixtor looks like when it does a bad job.
Yeah.
So I was curious about that. But there are things where I'll draw the line completely, of course, like porn and stuff like that. Well, I don't know if the money's right. I don't know. I got to think about that. No, I don't know. There are things where I would completely draw the line. And then there are things that are a little less extreme like that where I might consider it if the money was okay.
Yeah. There was one shoot that I was on a few weeks ago. It went from just being me setting up a green screen shoot, like very simple, because this studio is already set for green screen. All we have to do is literally flip a switch and it's all lit. It's pre-lit all the time. So all I had to do was set up the camera and set up a boom mic, because this person, what we thought, the person was coming on to the stage and they were just going to be talking. It started out with me shooting and ended up with me being on-screen talent for their entire video, as well as voiceover for their entire video. And it was like a 15-minute long video.
That's funny.
So,
but you got paid more for that.
No, part. I mean, I got paid the same, but I don't mind doing it. I mean, you know me. We got this podcast. The whole reason I do it is because I like the attention. And I want my wife to think I'm cool. And, I had this big bushy beard. It was like,
Oh, you did cut that. I didn't even notice. When did you do that? When did you do that?
Like, I don't know, like a couple weeks ago. I did it before we were in Columbus.
Oh, that's right. Well, that's when I was all in a fugue state.
Yeah. So, and I cut my hair, Anyways, I had this big bushy beard, and, so I just shot it with this big bushy beard. You know, I was on screen talent. It's weird.
You're also the voice of La Quinta.
I am the voice of La Quinta. If you watch any of their training videos, all the English ones are me.
It's funny.
And if you work for, never mind, I can't remember the bank. Anyway.
So, topic number 2.
All right.
But you responded to a tweet that we got from 531 that said, "Hey, Brograph, think you could spread the word about at Video Explainers swiping multiple works on the podcast?" Mm-hmm. So this is the topic.
Yeah, and this is what I looked into. So I asked him, I said, hey, give me some examples, because I don't want to just like be calling someone out for something if they're not doing things, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so he sent me a couple of examples, and it's like, man, like some of the... So Video Explainers is basically this explainer video site. You go to them, you say, hey, I need this explainer video, and they're like,
do you like explainer videos?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and so like they use all their templates that they made or some custom thing, and like, you know, they'll create you an explainer video. Now I'm looking through their explainer videos and referencing, what was the other company that they were ripping off? I can't remember.
Somebody posted, Simon Tibbs, I think, posted something. There were a whole bunch of them. You have to look back through our...
yeah, I just lost it. I apologize.
We have we had some crazy amount of like Twitter and email stuff this week, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, that was you. Oh, no.
Oh God. Okay, well, I'll read this in the meantime.
Okay.
The topic officially is inspiration versus appropriation.
Yes, I came up with that title. That's amazing. It's an amazing title.
That's real nice, Clark.
It's real nice, Clark.
I'll just read what some people said.
Wonderlust HFX. So Wonderlust is this. It's this like motion graphics company in Nova Scotia, you know, and I was looking at I was comparing the Video Explainers one to this Wonderlust one, and it's like, absolutely, it looks like Video Explainers totally ripped off like their art and like their character design and stuff like that from a bunch of these videos. And so like I emailed them and I was like, hey, you know, we're going to do a segment on our podcast about this, you know, do you wish to comment? And you know, I haven't gotten any comment back from Video Explainers, and I sent the same thing to Wonderlust to see if they had any opinion on it, you know, and haven't gotten anything back. But maybe next week we'll hear something. But you know, it really goes into the topic of inspiration versus appropriation. And I was thinking, you know, when I'm thinking like this Video Explainers company, you know, like maybe what happened is someone said, okay, I need this explainer video for this, blah, 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 blah. I really like this style from this one and this guy and blah, 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 you know, and then they just rip it off.
That or maybe the whole McDonald's thing we were talking about, where one of their people rips it off and management doesn't realize it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, you know, you go to different places looking for inspiration, you know, and you're like, oh, I like this guy's style, blah, 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 blah. But going about it and just straight up, like, because, I mean, you're watching the video and you can't get the Illustrator file straight from it, you know? I don't know. Can you take a still frame and then
you could
live trace
vectorize it, but it would be easier. You're not going to have that much luck.
Yeah,
it was redone.
So, yeah, but it's like redone the exact same way, you know? And I threw this question up on Twitter, and I said, you know, what is it that, at what point do you draw the line between inspiration and straight up stealing, you know? And Paul had a really good answer, and he said, when there's nothing left of you in the design, you know? And I feel like that's kind of like what this person was doing, is they were straight up like, I mean, they were creating their own elements around it, but some of these characters like had the exact same hair.
Oh yeah,
like
to a T.
And the way that they moved and stuff like that, and it's like, dude, you just don't do that. You know,
like
you
the
can
back
have
of the hair would have like this little square thing, and then it would round, and then it would have it would go up on each side, and it was exactly.
Yeah.
But not just that, it was a shot for shot type thing where you would play the two explainers next to each other, the ones you sent me. You would play both of those next to each other, and they would cut to the same shot in the next shot. It's not like they just stole a character or something. They stole the entire scene and the entire video.
Yeah, I liked at one point they, like, one of the things, they were all sitting there drinking coffee, you know, at a table. And then the other video, it's like he stole that exact same table, all the same people, but put them in like a cafe outside or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the thing, like, I don't know. And that's the thing with some of these companies that are just like, hey, we can make you quick explainer videos. You have to understand that they're probably ripping off other people. You know, if you go with a company that probably says we can produce this super high quality stuff for you at a fraction of the cost, trust me, we do work with these people. For companies like that who say we can give you high quality stuff at a fraction of the cost of what these high, you know, things, they're ripping you off. They're ripping someone off.
No, it's not. But that's a bad word for it. It's not a rip off, because here's the thing. When you have and you know, when I worked for an ad agency, it was the same thing. If the scene is there's a guy and he's sitting at a table drinking a cup of coffee, you're going to reference a piece of like a Google image or something off the internet for your storyboard to show the client what you're going to do. But what you tell them is that it's not going to look like this. We're just storyboarding with Google Images because it's an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
We're not going to go like trace it, like literally trace it. No, we're going to come up with a new style. We're going to have a whole new thing, and you can't trademark a guy sitting at a table with a cup of coffee.
Right.
But these are so blatant that it's like if you had a trademark on that character with the hair that we were talking about, you could go to them and say they ripped off our trademark character.
Yeah, but that's
and
the
you
thing.
Would win.
It's still intellectual property. You know, they are straight up ripping off someone's intellectual property. You know, like whatchamacallit, Syriac. I don't know if he has that stuff copyrighted or something like that, but it's still his intellectual property.
Yeah, but a lot of it is if you can demonstrate prior use, then that's all you need to be able to do. That's why a lot of people say, like, if you've already made it, like, it's copyrighted right off the bat. Now, trademarking's a little different, but here's the thing. If, you know, there's such a thing as, like, you know, there's softcore, there's tasteful nudes, and some people look at a tasteful nude, you know, look at the statue of David and say that's pornography. You know, they'll look at a tasteful nude of.
You know what he was trying to do with the statue of David, right?
Well, that's
create pornography.
So, the even like in like earlier days.
Back in the day, pornography was not as abundant, so you literally had to sculpt it yourself.
Right. But there was, there's a lot of people who used to do artistic photography of people that didn't have a lot of clothes on or no clothes on at all. You know, you see people doing those sketches of
draw me like one of your French girls.
Right. That kind of thing. That was considered tasteful, right? Now, there's even, you know, way back in the day, and I don't know if it was America or if it was like, you know, France or somewhere. So don't quote me on exactly where it was or the time period, but a long time ago, there were also pictures of kids that were nude. They were not engaged in sexual acts, anything like that. They were just nude. And a lot of people considered that to be art, like an artistic thing, right? And even when it comes to like taking pictures of your kids, like nowadays,
yeah,
if
I know.
your kid is walking around naked doing something funny, you take a picture of them because it's your kid.
I know.
And it's like, something to embarrass them with.
There's a few times where like my kid would be in the tub or something, and like my wife would take a picture, and then I'm going through my pictures because we share the same iCloud account.
Right.
You know, I'm like, why are there so many naked pictures of
right.
my kid on here?
Right, but now there's people that get upset about that, and there's people that get upset about the art of the kids, and that's borderline. And then there's people get upset about adults or the Statue of David, and they call it pornography.
Right.
Well, pornography is supposed to be like actual sexual acts, right?
I don't know.
You ask, well, what is the difference? And you know what the answer always is? Well, I know it when I see it.
Yeah.
Is this pornography? I know it when I see it. But that varies from person to person. You know, if you were to be shown something,
like that's kind of different than talking about here, you know, where it's like straight up the stealing of someone else's art, you know?
Yes. But what I'm saying is there are levels to it. Like when we're talking about getting inspiration for a guy sitting at a cafe and we make another guy sitting at a cafe, is that stealing? Well, I would say not really, because lots of people sit at a cafe.
Yeah. But if you're like, that's inspiration. You know, versus appropriation, you know, stealing someone else's work.
But they didn't use it exactly. They didn't take the files.
You take a picture off of a Google image search of someone, you know, drinking a coffee at a cafe, you know, and then you you set up a scene exactly to look like that. You know, like you're able to find the same drapes and stuff like that. And you're not stealing the shot. You're kind of putting yourself into it. Like Paul said, when there's nothing left of you in the design, you know, you're still lighting it. You're trying to get the same look as that one, but you're using your own mind and your own abilities in order to do that. You know?
But my point is, like, there's an in-between point, right? Where you make the guy and he's sitting at the table. But his face looks similar, but it doesn't look like him yet. But then you draw the hair, and it's the exact same hair. Well, wait, is that the point where it's a blatant ripoff? But it wasn't before the hair was on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
there's like this point of no return to where you say, I know it when I see it. You know, so is this stealing? I know it when I see it. And that's why it's so hard to take something like that to court and say, look, this is my... Well, did you steal that? Did you steal their files? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how is this ripping it off? Well, then you have to explain why. And then you have to break it down into, he used a Bezier curve on the hair coming off here. And this thing, you really have to get into it. And then you have to rely on the jury to have enough people that say, I know it when I see it, so that they actually pick up on it and say, okay, you're guilty. Because it could go either way. This could go to court and it could be completely different.
I think it should go to court. I really do think it should.
You asked them to comment too, right?
To like on the email?
You asked for a comment from the video explainers people, right?
Yeah, I did. So hopefully we get something back. What's the name of the company again? Something headquarters or something?
It's at Video Explainers.
No, the other people.
Explainer videos.
I'm so stupid. I don't know. I'm not just like writing this stuff down. Anyway, I'm trying to go back to their thing and actually see if I could take a screenshot of it. Ooh, no.
Oh, yeah.
And like see if I could live image trace it or something. Because that would be interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, rest in peace, Gene Wilder. We love you.
Yeah, for reals.
Man, you know, like, I don't know. There's a few people who, like, that one kind of hit me a little hard. I know, I kind of felt like it was coming, you know?
Well, there have been so many hoax versions of him dying over the years, too.
Yeah. The one that the death that has hit me the hardest over the past, like, 5 years or whatever was Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah, it was Michael Jackson for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I was on my honeymoon when Michael Jackson died.
I was in Florida? No, where was I?
You were in Florida? Because I was in Florida. I was in Florida.
Was I in Florida? Or was it? No, I might have been in Portland. I don't know.
Huh.
I don't remember.
Because I was in Florida. I was in Disney Hollywood Studios.
I can't remember. I have to look that up. Where was I? Simon Tibbs said the chances are if you made it, Video Explainers has made an quote unquote adaptation of it.
Yeah.
Hashtag Brograph. Steve Emerson said if you have one person you're influenced by, everyone will say you're the next whoever. Mm-hmm. But if you rip off 100 people, everyone will say you're so original. Because it's a mix of something. But like we've talked about a lot before, when you're mixing styles, like you're kind of using ideas and techniques to come up with your own style. But like there's this difference between inspiration and appropriation. Yeah. So, and then I want to say that we've talked about this possibly before, but the book Steal Like an Artist is what Gaten DeSimone sent us. And then
oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure I fixed my Illustrator issue. You know how I said I was always talking about my Illustrator like dying and stuff like that. Like it crashes on me all the time. I turned off the GPU option on it, and it hasn't crashed on me yet.
It's good.
So, okay, here I go. I'm going to grab a screen grab from this.
Okay.
I'm gonna go full screen so that I got full screen. I'm on HD. Come on. Okay, go away.
But there's so many layers in all these. Like there's background layers.
Yes, there is.
That's what I don't get. Why go through all that trouble?
I don't know.
Austin Cleon says, I think it's good to look into what creativity has become and how to identify it. Here's the other thing. As a company, why do this?
Yeah, that's true. I'm telling you, like, it's got to be just like a quick buck or something. I mean, they have some shady business practices, I bet, you know?
Even knowing that you're going to get the
Haven't you ever worked for a company that you felt like they, you know, the thing that they were doing wasn't necessarily the most honest thing, and you just...
Well, yes, but...
Because I can think of one...
It wasn't straight rip-off.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know.
It wasn't straight rip-off, but I'm talking about the company itself. When the company makes the decision, when the decision maker at the company makes the decision to say, we are going to directly rip this off, shot for shot, style in its entirety, even down to the way that the person's hair looks. Why not even say, well, we'll just... Okay, so you're going to go shot for shot. Why not just sit there and say, okay, we're going to go shot for shot, but only like but we're going to change the guy's hair, and we're going to change these colors, and we're going to make the table 3-legged table instead of 4.
Right.
Just
why do you
blatant,
yeah.
Blatant rip. Why would you make it so easy for people to call you out on it?
I think it's because, like, honestly, these companies, they don't expect that anyone's ever going to call them out on it.
Well, come on now. It's on the internet.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the people who are hiring them for these now are going to face backlash from the original creators because it is totally fine for these people to go to the content owner. You see, when you pay somebody to make you a video like that, you're kind of assuming responsibility in a way for that, because it is something you're paying for.
Damn.
It is your content, right?
This totally worked.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, wow, that is intense.
But think about it from that perspective too, because when you're this company, you're deciding to make blatant ripoffs.
Like, seriously, then this is probably what they did. They probably just took still frames, you know?
Yeah, but what about all the background elements and pieces like that?
Dude, I'm going to show you my screen right now. Like, right. Everything is perfect. Hold on.
Well, even so, here's the question. Let's say we are explainer videos and we say, wahaha, we're going to rip off everybody in the universe.
You see it? Do you see my screen?
It's coming up. Yeah, there we go.
Look.
Yeah.
That's all my lines and stuff. It traced it perfectly.
Well, unselect it. Let me see. Because see how the edges and stuff are a little wobbly? Like,
Yeah,
did theirs
but
look
you
like
could probably smooth the edges a little bit. You know?
But yeah, I was just wondering if that's a tell.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good idea. I gotta turn
because that always happens to me when I try and live trace stuff.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let me go through this point before I forget it.
So if you're looking to rip off some line art,
let me do this point before I forget it, because I'm going to forget it. If you are that company, and you make this decision to be evil and do this, don't you have to wonder what's going to happen when your clients come back and sue you as well as the original creators? Because then you got double trouble. You got people saying, I paid you for this original content that you said was going to be fast and cheap. You said it was original. You copied somebody, and now they're suing me, and I'm going to sue you because, I'm getting sued. Like, why would you decide to deal with that backlash?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you're incorporated and you can just...
Yeah.
And you can just dissolve your company?
Yeah. Or they just... I don't know. They just don't care. Like, I'm telling you, it's all about making a quick buck, And it seems to me like a company like this is really just all about making a quick buck.
And how much are these videos?
Let's look. Man, I can't even believe how well that worked.
Okay, keep talking. I gotta grab something. Hold on.
Okay, so I'm on the Video Explainers website. Choose your style. You got very different amounts. You got 2D animation, whiteboard animation, good old whiteboard animation, kinetic typography, cutout animation, infographics. It doesn't actually tell you how much it cost. Just customize and get started now. I wonder if some of these people, because they've got some people who are like actually like giving their reviews on the right side of some of these. I wonder if some of them know. I should email them. Be messed up.
Okay, I'm back. I have to eat something. I'm sorry.
Video Explainers, video creation process.
What was the price?
It doesn't say.
What if we hit them up anonymously?
Yeah. I don't know. Oh my gosh. They must be new. They must be really new because their video creation process video only has 10 views.
I wonder if
I should comment on that and say, oh, your video process is just to steal other people's work and, appropriate it for yourself.
Can we set up a honeypot?
What's a honeypot?
Let's take a video we've done.
Oh, yeah.
Go in as a client and say, we want to do something like this. And then once they copy it all the way, then we just sue them. And then we make a bunch of money.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Considering I did email them and say, hey, do you wish to comment on this? I run a podcast called Brograph.
No, we'll just do it under another name.
No.
Just like they do.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally more legit than what they're doing.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well.
So let's... do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I don't. Man, but featured in Entrepreneur, TechCrunch, get access to pricing. Oh, maybe.
TechCrunch? Yeah. Now, do they have VC?
I don't know what VC is.
Venture capital? Do they have VCs like funding it? Because those people would pull out in a heartbeat.
It says we've worked for, and then it gives all these.
Oh, they've worked for TechCrunch.
No. This is like featured in TechCrunch, featured in top 10 SM. But is it like these people actually worked for them, or is it like, oh, we have an employee who worked for them, or worked for someone who?
Well, I was just wondering if they have very little like that and they're already up and running. It probably means that they have a ton of BS venture capital, and if they're in TechCrunch, they probably have a Crunch-based profile. I'm just wondering what it says they're worth, and if their venture capitalists are going to be okay with this.
Yeah.
Because those people aren't going to want to get sued. What are they called officially?
I don't know. Angel investors? What are you talking about?
I mean the name of the company.
Oh, Video Explainers.
There's Video Explainers.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's weird. On their thing, it says video.explainers, but it's videoexplainers.com.
It's listed on Crunchbase.
What is that? What is Crunchbase?
It's TechCrunch's site where they profile companies and like their angel investments. So I'm just looking to see if they have actual VC or if it's just listed in here and it doesn't have.
They're out of Arizona. Arizona, USA.
Just says one person listed as their top contributor.
24/7 project managers available.
They have 11 to 50 employees.
Mm-hmm.
None of them found in Crunchbase. Let's see more.
Thanks for coming along on this adventure with us.
Yeah, it's just interesting to look up.
Step 1, concept and writing the script. Our explainer video process starts from gathering all the information from the client and processing further by writing the script. Oh, they write the script.
But you write a script based on another video.
Yeah.
You know?
Working on storyboard. Anything. After the script is approved, the storyboard work starts. The storyboard is basically the script, which is defined in visual frames in the fourth.
I'm looking up their address too, because depending on their building too. Their address is out of somebody's house.
Really?
I'm looking at it right now.
Really?
In Arizona.
Huh.
They have an office here and in Pakistan. So what they're doing is they're outsourcing animations to Pakistan for cheap. They're ripping it off. And then they have at 1969 East Stevens Drive, Temple, Arizona, USA. There's a little adobe house. Looks like, where Aviato would be housed out of. And this is their one point of contact here in the U.S. And those other 49 employees are all in Pakistan. And it's probably housed under one big corporation that can take a dump at any time.
Yeah, so that's probably why they have 24/7 people on call.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, isn't that special?
But it's wrong.
Isn't that cute? But it's wrong.
All right. Well, that was a fun little bash of video explainers. Don't steal work, people. Yeah. I'm going to comment on this. I'm going to say, who'd you steal this one from?
It's funny. I'm telling you, if they have any VC, they're gonna be in for you're gonna have a bad time. Okay.
I just posted it under Brograph. Sorry.
Whatever. Who cares? Let them come.
Their video explainers video creation process, and I said, "Who'd you steal this video from?"
Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro.
So let's talk about some good companies like Megascans. Freaking
Megascans,
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I haven't been able to play with this yet. Half because of time, but the other half because there's only a certain amount of free content, and it seems like everybody has done it already.
Oh, just want to point out to you, when my wife came in and said, "Oh no, I'm just going to watch one episode," she is currently on the last episode.
Of what?
Of Stranger Things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. She had 3 episodes left. She's like, "No, I'm just going to watch one." Now she's on the last episode right now.
It's like Lay's potato chips.
Dude, seriously. Anyway.
I'm sorry I'm eating on the show, but I can't.
No, you're totally fine.
I'm all shaky. All right.
Aviato.
So, Aviato. Everybody's raving about Megascans.
Gosh, man. I'm looking at this stuff right now, and it is incredible. It's megascans.se.
And they're showing things from big feature films where their stuff has been used, like The Jungle Book.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I did kind of have a bug, I wanted to try and do this in Octane with their free stuff.
Yeah.
But everybody...
Their free log.
The free log. Yeah. Everybody did the free log. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do another log.
What was it? Someone said on Twitter the other day or something like, take a sphere... put it in a landscape.
Oh no, that's Kid Mograph.
Oh, Kid Mograph.
Yeah, we had a conversation about it.
Yeah,
because I brought up the dystopian landscape thing, which is only Beeple's style. Everybody else quit doing that.
Right. Have you seen some of the newer stuff that he's doing right now? He's doing these
a couple of them,
light streaks or something in forests and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
I can't wait. He's supposed to be at half res.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool.
Gonna meet him so hard.
I mean, assuming the Illuminati lets him out. But.
Right, of course. Yeah, but you know what? It's going to be a Beeple robot.
Mm-hmm.
It will be a Beeple robot.
Sent there by the Illuminati.
Okay. Kid Mograph, random landscape, whatever geometry on top, #Octane equals heck yeah, success.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, that was Flavio.
And I tweeted back at him the dystopian landscape thing.
Yes.
But oh yeah, and he said like #boring.
boring.
This is awesome.
Anyway, Megascans. It's incredible.
So here's the thing. We'll talk about pricing. Because to me, I really want to try it. But unlike Polygon or CG Textures, which we pay for outright, because we're like, yes, we're totally going to use this. It's worth the money. This is a little higher to where the price point is like where I want to use it. And if I get a gig that kind of justifies it, of course I'm going to pay for it.
Yeah.
However, it's not something where I'm just like, oh yeah, here, just take the money and I'll use it whenever.
Shut up and take my money. Yeah.
Yeah. For hobby, it's $19 monthly. These prices have changed.
Have they?
Yes, they have. They were a lot higher before.
Really?
Yeah.
What were they at?
I believe they are. Okay, here's the deal. Hobby, you get one non-commercial license for $19, 30 points a month. But I haven't really looked to see what the average points are for each of these models.
So you talking
get 2K resolution.
$240 almost. $230. $228 a year for it.
And you've got a freelancer, $29 a month.
But you can only get 2K resolution on the other one, on the hobby one. The freelancer is 4K resolution.
4K and 50 points. And then indie team, $125 a month, 60 points and 4K resolution.
And you get up to 10 artists, which is pretty cool. But
this stuff is like, they're showing some of this stuff in not Octane, but in just Unreal Engine. And it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And
it's unreal.
I see what you did there. But what's cool is when you go into the scans and you click on them, like if you were to do a search or something, when you go into like the log, I think it was like, where did I see it? Explore all new scans. Yeah, you view assets. And so it'll bring it up, the log, for example, and when you click, it has like a million polygon options, which if you're doing something like Octane and you just have stuff in the background, that's really nice that you can kind of keep the poly count down. Something's wonky with the browser right now. It's like not loading correctly.
Weird.
Sucks.
Dude, if you're a studio, you get, that's dumb. It's $990 per month, 8K resolution,
I didn't even
unlimited
see that.
seats, unlimited projects, only 1,000 points per year.
Only 1,000?
Yeah.
Maybe that's per seat.
I don't know.
Because that doesn't seem right.
Surfaces, 3D assets.
So what's really cool is they allow you, though, to see the different polygon options to see if you see a difference between them.
Oh,
to see what you can get away with and be like, no, I don't need to have 2 million polygons in my log. I can have like 100,000 because it's going to be, maybe a 16th of the screen size.
Yeah.
But if you were going to do something else, say you were going to feature it and you're going to do like a story about ants and you're going to be close up on that log and that's their home for your animation, then
I like
you would
that
want
it
to
gives
get the
you
high
the
poly.
scale. That's cool.
That
Neat.
too. And of course, it has all the different types of files to go with it, the normals and the bump and all of that.
Wow, and you can even turn off all this stuff too.
Yeah. And you can see what it's going to look like.
No, you can't. It doesn't give you the preview.
Oh, it doesn't? I thought it did.
No.
Oh.
Cool if it gave you the preview with all the... Neat. Anyway, okay.
This is really good, though. I mean, it's kind of like people have been alluding to it, or some of these texture sites have been kind of showing some of the stuff they're adding kind of in that realm. Like these new text. What do you call it? These new what are they called? What are the textures called? Like they are 3D scans, but they have a name. It's just
I don't know.
The PBR library. Type
PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon Library.
Pabst Blue Ribbon Library. Textures.com is doing it with like sand and dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And Polygon's got some great ones that we've been using, and we pay for their service. But it seems like this is the first site that launched that was only that stuff from the get-go.
Yeah, PBR.
And models, too.
That's funny.
These are doing just textures, and they're really good textures and whatnot. But this is like taking those amazing textures and putting them with models, and it's like, wow, it's... you can't beat that. So
wow, Textures.com has done a bunch of these PBR stuff. They look good.
Yeah.
These cobblestone ones, those are nice.
I've used some of the brick, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tree
it's
bark.
pretty cool.
A manhole cover.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, anyway.
So that's cool. So check that out. I also wanted to bring up a quick Octane thing on Ray Epsilon.
Yeah.
One of my good buddies, Ray Epsilon. I'm also friends with General Error. And
good friends with General Error.
General Error and, what's the other one? Dang it.
Colonel Panic.
Yeah. That's what it is. All good friends of mine.
Yeah.
Obviously, because I experience encounters with them on a regular basis.
Right.
But Ray Epsilon, I see this come up a lot in the Octane Facebook group where people are having, what are these lines? What are these rings? I don't know what this is, these lines. And it's totally a Ray Epsilon issue, and we never really have talked about that. It has to do with scene size. And someone will make like a giant scene, and their Ray Epsilon will be set to default. And usually I've found that changing the Ray Epsilon to 0.000011 like we'll fix that immediately. You don't want to jack up the Ray Epsilon all the way. You want to keep it way down, but if you just barely put it up, it's going to immediately get rid of some of those problems. The same applies to if you have two polygons that are in the exact same space, like intersecting. When you're using Cinema 4D, one of them, like a regular render, one of them always wins.
Yeah.
Over the other one, and you don't get the intersections. But there's something about using Octane where it's a lot more easy for that to happen. So first of all, you want them to be slightly off, but your Ray Epsilon is going to have an effect on that. The thing, though, is adjusting your Ray Epsilon also is going to change the way that your glass refractions look. That's why you don't want to jack that way up.
Okay.
Like, it's going to make a big difference on refraction. So, look into that. And some of it has to do with, it's a lot to do with scene scale. Sometimes you do want that to come up, but if you have those weird ring problems, that's the first thing to look at.
Cool.
Or
good old Colonel Panic.
I need another LaCroix before we go into the email section.
Okay. So go get one. I finished my Surge for the week. We got a awesome, super awesome picture. Can I go ahead and talk about this? Because it's the best. Okay. So Sage of Shadow sent us a fan art, or like it's just awesome. It's so awesome. We put it as our Facebook cover photo. It's got me, Dave, and David, and we're all doing the podcast together. And what's cool is, like, it's a fun little picture of us. We look like those Vinylmation guys or whatever,
My friend posted her collection
on
Facebook the other day. They're still in the box. She has hundreds of them.
That's ridiculous.
She has a room dedicated to them. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know why they're so popular. Anyway, so we're all Vinylmation guys, and what's cool is, like, maybe Man, big shout out to Sage because he listens to the show, and you can tell because there's so many like subtle hints to everything.
Yeah.
Like Dave's LaCroix is sitting on his thing, and David's sour beers, like his favorite sour beer is there, and my Surge, and then my favorite was the my crappy iMac that I talk about every week is just sitting on the ground, and it's like, you know, in shambles. Man, it was so cool. So big shout out because that was awesome. That was really cool to get. Stuff like that, like...
He's even got my chain.
Oh, yeah, I know. And he got my shirt. Dude, my Cinema 40 shirt that I'm literally wearing right now.
And you were talking about Pokemon. I was talking about something Octane Cinema. And what was David talking about?
I don't know.
Was it a peace sign?
I don't know. It looked like a peace sign. Was it... It wasn't Dave Matthews, was it? Was that their logo?
I don't remember now. I don't remember what it was. So awesome, though. Like, that was totally awesome.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Maybe
he was talking about sour beers.
I haven't been able to reply to all emails yet. I'm sorry. I have them starred on my email as, like, marked to reply. And it's, like, some of them has been almost 2 weeks. I apologize. I'm going to get to it.
I am, like, almost the Twitter guy. I'm on Twitter all the time. Dave doesn't hit up Twitter too much. He hits the emails a lot. So
yeah, and the thing too with the emails is that a lot of times I read them, but like I mark them to respond. So it's not that I haven't read them, I just haven't responded because like maybe I'm in the airport or something and I want to write along the response, then I can do on my phone when I'm boarding, you know, or possibly, you know, it's something I want to talk about on the show, and it's better to answer on the show than to write back. You know, that's the other part about it too. So if I miss you, it's totally by accident. So
I miss you. Where are you?
Like there is somebody who sent me and you something about what they've been doing lately, like at their job, and that's one where like it's not really like something to read on the show per se, but it's something I want to look at what they are and respond to it, and I just haven't had a chance.
Yeah.
So that's on my list too.
Straight up.
So emails, we love all the emails and responses and Twitters and everything. So keep them coming.
Yeah, and if you're planning on DFW C4D, you know, hit us up. Like send us an email, send us a, you know, whatever.
And make sure you sign up. You've got to sign up. You got to have a ticket.
Do you have to have a ticket?
Yeah, well, it's really important because if we get to a certain point, we're going to move the inside venue from, I don't even know if I told you this.
I thought we just had to have more than 10 people and then we move it.
No, it was more than a certain amount of people. And they said we could do it no matter what if we wanted to. My thing is that, let's say 10 people showed up. Yeah. And we're in this small room. That's kind of okay and it's intimate, but you put those 10 people in an auditorium and then it's like, yeah, this kind of sucks. So I was waiting till we get to a certain threshold.
What's your threshold?
I don't even know. Okay. I think we're getting close.
Yeah.
And one of my things, I was going to go down there and just check it out firsthand as well.
Yeah, let's go down there.
Yeah.
Let's go for lunch,
let's
Thursday.
Go down there and have a pint. So I wanted to see it and I wanted to just check out the setup because I would like to be able to record.
Yeah.
I was asking Joe about that. And then...
You're out of town this week, right? Are you going out of town this week or no? You're here.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, let's go Thursday. Let's do Thursday lunch.
Okay, cool.
All right. I'm putting it in the calendar.
Yeah, so I think Joe's going to help record.
Okay, cool.
Which just reminded me I have to text him because he's working on a project for us right now. And so, yeah. Next email. Okay, speaking of which, okay, like here's an example. Somebody named Roy.
Yeah.
Sent us something and has a project file and is like, hey, can you help me with this issue? Like that's the kind of thing I haven't had time to look yet. But he hit us up. I'm like, I'm looking at it. But here's what I can say. He's got some sort of file with something that's rigged, like a skeleton that's rigged, and it's graded 30 frames per second. And when he changes it to 60, I believe, it gets all wonky. And I don't know if you remember what David was talking about in the last episode about changing your timing a different way to where you're using like a separate track. It was something that was in that that presentation that what's his name did. I
don't know.
It was
I am awful about like,
Ryan Summers.
The whole whatchamacallit thing.
The rigging?
The rigging, yeah. Like I did the one, the IK chain one, but man, like actual rigging is scary.
This is something that was in the Ryan Summers presentation, to where he was talking about like different ways to retime things. And I think it's something that actually might fix this problem just kind of off the bat looking at it. When you do have that wonkiness going on, it's a different way of doing it. Keyframes, you're not stretching the keyframes. You're kind of like reinterpolating the whole thing. And I'm wondering if that would be something that's a help. So if you hear this before I get back to you, it's the 50 and 50 Ryan Summers Seagraph Awesomeness clip from Cineversity that we posted in the show notes of the last episode.
Word.
So check that out. And then lost my place. Where are we at here?
And this is interesting. I'm looking at this textures.com stuff, and they are what's interesting is that they put an actual color like tablet or whatever there, so you can see what the actual colors are, so that you can color match it. It's pretty neat.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the one that I was talking about last week that I had lost track of the email and I knew I had it somewhere. Perry, who's the Maya guy. He sent me a couple emails here over the last week too, which is an update, I thought this is really cool because this is from the perspective of somebody who's been hearing us talk about Octane forever, but hasn't had it. And here's us talking about how amazing it is and all that stuff, right? And so the email that we got last week was, today just purchased Octane for C4D, and all I can say is holy shite. This now makes even more things easier. I purchased it for some shots on a feature film that I'm doing and all the VFX for, and they are predominantly photorealistic. This will make my life less of hell than it usually is when I do shots for features while holding down a day job.
What render program or what render engine have you been using normally? That's what I'd like to know.
I'm guessing it was physical or something, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
If it was C4D, probably just, unless it was like V-Ray or something.
I don't know. Man, V-Ray's going away. Like,
I know, where is this GPU one?
Yeah, like it used to be all about V-Ray. V-Ray. Like, no one's talking V-Ray anymore. People are talking like Octane, and they're talking Arnold. Yeah. That's the only thing I hear about.
Yeah.
Maxwell 4's coming out soon, we'll see. But man, it's like Arnold and Octane. That's where it's at. I'm going to learn Arnold.
I see stuff coming in the Dropbox, so Joe is working.
Yeah.
All right. So he also said, I know you guys...
Great. It just means I'm going to become a potato now.
Yeah. I know you guys are accused of being fanboys for Octane.
We are.
Well, if that is the price to pay for this level of quality, sign me up. I'd happily ride the fanboy train myself. So that was like immediately after getting Octane. And so like this week, these are the two emails I got. Hey Rose, it's been 12 days with Octane now, fighting myself, thinking about, and I find myself thinking about it while I'm driving in the car. I think about what I can do with it when I get home, and I don't do that with Arnold. Although Arnold is fantastic or V-Ray. That answers our question.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, so the other thing, I guess, is that he has Octane only at home and not at work.
Oh, man. Need to sign out and then log in at work.
Yeah. Certainly never did that with Mental Ray. If I ever did think about Mental Ray while I was driving in my car, it was likely I was thinking about how to fix some render issue. Probably like Flickr, you know? How to get rid of that stupid Flickr. Oh, man, I'm so glad Flickr's gone. You trade it for grain. But the answer to grain is simple. Just up the samples. It's like not that hard. Flickr can be anything.
Still, like, no, you get a lot of the noise, you know, I don't know. You hit the static noise, it's fine, but
static noise makes it look weird sometimes too.
It does, yeah. But like, say you get a lot of noise in the blurry reflections and stuff, and you do the static noise, then you just throw like a denoiser on there, and it kind of like smooths it all out. Which, where is Octane's denoiser that was supposed to be coming? Is that with 3.1? Isn't there supposed to be like a stock denoiser?
I got a message.
I don't know. Maybe it's coming with Brigade 3.1 in 6 years.
I got a message from my friend Brian, who I used to work with, who, you know, just recently got Octane at his job, and so he's had some questions and stuff, and he was talking about that denoiser and how great that's going to be.
Yeah,
it really is going to be really cool. Okay, so Perry says Octane makes use of my history using film and video camera and lighting. Spent some years as a TV cameraman and editor. Like, totally, like, it's so real world.
Yeah,
it makes photography and camera tech not just helpful, but almost like a secret weapon. So I decided to do the unthinkable and just jumped into production on it with quick turnaround. The client is actually shocked how fast I can get renders to him that look final.
That's pretty awesome.
Actually, I'm shocked even more than he is. I already threw myself off the Maya train years ago, so I'm glad I did. Now with Cinema 4D and Octane, the stuff I can accomplish is literally unthinkable without these two applications. Okay, have to go now. More fun Octane awaits. And then here's another follow-up. By the way, I failed to mention that the project is for a large motion picture studio and has a fly-through of a somewhat photorealistic 1980s video rental shop.
Oh,
That's cool.
Photoreal. And I want to see it when you're done, or tell us what movie it's on, and then we'll go see it.
And use our plugin with it, so we can feature it. Because at some point we're gonna have a plugin reel, and that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Of like all user stuff.
Grayscale has one, you know.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna buy them in 10 years,
we got a lot of catching up to do. Photoreal, especially with one person working on it, in less than a week in anything other than Octane would be insanity. Hitting the render button is like invoking some awesome algorithm. It's really hard to make this stuff look bad. It's true.
That is true. Hashtag Octane. It's why I love it. It's because I'm so bad at what I do, but man, it makes me look so good.
And that's the other thing with our clients too. You know, we're talking about, you know, we have some clients where we do stuff that's like super quick turnaround, and like we're doing this photorealistic stuff in like a day.
Yeah.
You know, or we'll render something.
Not even. Dude, so like
building, like modeling and rendering.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I had to do a little logo. It's just a little simple, like, letter M spin, you know, had it come from nothing, do 180 degree, one way, 180 degree, another way, and show up. And what was happening, so I had the UV, or I had the texture, you know, and I wanted to just slap it on there, you know, and have it, you know, whatchamacallit, fit or whatever, you know, the something to fit. Anyway, and so it would do it in the standard renderer, or it would show up normally on my screen, but it wouldn't render that way in Octane. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go back to standard renderer and see what I can do. And you know what? I actually use the new Quick Sky, the Quick Sky Lite. Nice. And so I use that because I was originally using our Octane Luminous Sky, or Quick Sky for it. And so it was nice because I was able to go over and really quickly render out this, well, not quickly render out the M, but, you know, but still it was cool, like actually working in the standard render, and it's so different. Like, just, I don't know what it is. It just makes it look so much more realistic when you're using Octane, you know? It's the same HDR that we were using, but there's something about it that just makes it look different. I don't know.
It's magic. And you know, I actually posted when I posted the time lapse of the Vegas sign that I did when we went to NAB. I posted like from the very beginning all the way through render and After Effects work and the whole thing. And I forget what the total amount of time I spent on it was. It was like 9 to 12 hours or something like that. And somebody, like, because I posted it in the subreddit, and somebody was like, no way, they're like freaking 9 hours. How is that even possible? And I'm like, well, because I'm sitting there like building in Octane and tweaking in Octane. I don't have to guess 100 times. And I've said that before, but that's what it is like you're just creating this stuff and it's so fast and people are just like, how in the world did you do it that fast?
The thing that changed my life with Octane was lighting. Being able to change my lighting really quickly and see how it actually reacts. That's the biggest time saver.
Yeah, or take a sun outside and like have it change times of day.
Yeah, and not have
angles.
to render the entire thing in order to see what it looks like.
Yeah, you're sitting there rotating the sun in real time.
Yeah,
and just seeing what looks cool.
Yeah,
and you're like, move it just a little here, perfect. Yep. You'd never be able to do that before. From our female listeners, number one, I just have to say, Sarah. Karma shout out to Sarah because we've talked about her before. She was working on the is it Larry Wilmore show, the show on Comedy Central, and it got canceled, unfortunately. So she, I guess, is looking for a new job right now. So just a shout out to anybody who wants an awesome animator.
For sure.
Check her stuff out. It's actually featured in our blog if you go to our artist profile thingy. Mm-hmm. And another female listener, Anastasia from Austin, actually was asking me some Mocha questions, but I think she kind of figured it out. But she did say, because she's in Austin, I'm considering attending DFW C4D.
Yeah, come. It'll be great.
Totally. But she said the drive's a bit daunting. I've gone to Austin and back 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
She said, glad y'all are doing that though. Austin needs something similar.
Here's the thing. Take Friday off, come up, hang out with us for the night or whatever, stay the night, and then, drive back tomorrow or drive back Sunday or something like that.
It's on a Tuesday.
Oh yeah, it's on a Tuesday. I thought it was on I will gladly pay you Tuesday.
She probably has to work. So,
take Wednesday off.
Yeah, I mean, I can see, like, if you had to come all the way up and, like, you can't really drink because you're going to go all the way back to Austin. So I get that. But it would be really cool if you could make it or work it out or something. And
convince your work that it's a good work opportunity and then have them pay for you to come there.
And then get a Motel 6.
Yeah.
Like Matt.
Super 8.
A Super 8 like Matt. Oh, that's more expensive.
Yeah.
It's $8
Dude,
instead of $6.
The worst hotel I've ever stayed in, it was a deluxe inn in San Antonio. It was awful. It was $30 a night.
Jeez.
Yeah. Back January 1st, 2000. Remember the exact date.
She says, and thanks, of course, thanks for all the work you guys put in the podcast. I personally find a lot of insight in it. And
thanks.
Let's see.
Not just us just joking around the whole time.
I've seen more people too talking about us, like in Grayscale Gorilla chats and stuff.
Yeah, someone posted, like Nick posted something the other day, and someone said, "Oh, you should check out Brograph." Yeah.
Yeah, and then right above it in the same thread, somebody else linked to us. And was like, "Oh, you should." What was it that you said?
Something about Octane.
They said C4DLive.com archives pros blow your mind. Linda, Brograph, GSG, and of course School of Motion.
Oh yeah,
I felt like cool that we were listed in.
Yeah. Someone was asking something about UV mapping. Or on Twitter, and they asked, they're like, "Hey, Grayscale Gorilla, iDesign, blah blah blah, Brograph. Hey, I'm trying to do this," and I'm like, I just feel honored to be in that list, of people.
Yeah, feels good, bro.
Hashtag feels good, bro.
Thanks that you're putting us up there with the other greats because those guys are awesome. And of course, like, man, UV stuff, UVW mapping.
Oh my gosh, man. Ugh. Just just trying to UV unwrap a cube takes so much time,
It's
that's the one thing that I wish was easier. Maybe we'll have it in R22 or what was it we were on? R26?
Yeah.
R28.
Well, the thing about it is it's a practice thing too, and we just haven't had enough reasons to be using UVW unwraps and stuff, and that's why, like, I don't feel like I'm the best person to ask for doing that tutorial. The Octane, no problem, but
here's the one thing that I find with some questions that we'll get, you know, I'm a generalist. I don't you know, spend 8 hours a day working on hair on someone's arm, you know. I'm a generalist, so a lot of this stuff, sometimes I try and give my general knowledge out to people, you know, not so much specialized in certain things. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't feel like if I'm not good at something, there's kind of a point, there's kind of a jumping off. If it's something that I really don't know well at all, like I don't feel comfortable doing a tutorial on it. If it's something that I'm pretty okay with, I actually like doing a tutorial on it because I kind of teach myself the theory behind it a little better as I'm doing my own tutorial. That's always fun. You always learn by teaching others. It's very interesting. And but you know, UVW mapping, someday I'll get good at it.
Here's a thought that I had, because I've got a guy that I'm teaching how to use Premiere right now. He was a Final Cut guy for the longest time, and I've been teaching him how to use Premiere. And you know, I'm sure there's, you know, tutorials and stuff out there for Premiere, but I was thinking about, and I'd love to know y'all's feedback, get y'all's ideas on this, whether anyone would be interested in seeing a whole series of like video production, or like production from, like, you know, cameras and blah blah blah, all the way to actual, like, just post-production standard editing, you know, or not necessarily After Effects, but actually like just Premiere and how to do that and stuff like that. I don't know.
I think it would be fun,
theory behind some of that stuff, because I know a lot of it. I just don't do it that often because we're mostly in After Effects and Cinema 4D.
Well, I think it would be fun to do something similar like that, with like the steps of doing kind of what we do for one client we talk about all the time with the green screening stuff, where we are usually taking somebody on a green screen with a relatively simple track and PF, and keying it out and building an environment around them. Yeah. And if we could, you know, maybe one day when they're shooting, have them shoot like something separate for us, just one shot of someone doing something, so we could use that, or just, you know, get permission, and then we'll show, okay, the first step we do is we just get a rough key, you know, and then we do or we don't do a track depending on if it's a locked off shot or not. But then here's how we build around them. You know, here's how we'll use like a Cineware file to like quickly position where the walls are, and go back and forth in After Effects, and then get a wireframe.
And here's how we, you know, then bring it into Premiere and whatever.
Yeah. When we're done. And yeah, it could be a fun one to do. I know that's what Andrew Kramer's doing right now. Is like he's got a whole thing coming
up. Oh, is he?
On like the entire thing. That's the one David was talking about, you know, because he's coming out with his rooftop pack. That's used in his series. It's like, here's how you do this entire shot of this guy who's on a ledge on top of a rooftop, and he jumps, and there's like
that guy,
whole thing,
like his actor guy or whatever. You know, I was at NAB one year and I was watching Freddie Wong and Brandon, whatever his name is, you know, the two guys, the guys, they were speaking at some little light booth, you know.
Oh, you told this story.
Yeah. I turned around and it was that guy who was in all of Andrew Kramer's like
that's funny
videos. Like, he was right there and I recognized him immediately. It's like, yeah, you're the guy who doesn't speak, who's, you know, jumping from rooftops and making his eyeball go all weird. And making demon face. Demon face, you know the demon face tutorial?
I think so, yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. That covers it, man.
Yeah. All right. It's not going to be a short show. It was 2 hours.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, good.
Well, you can
Sorry to all those people who don't like the long shows. Every week I feel like those people are like, yeah, all right, short show. This will be great because then I can listen to it on my way to work.
Well, I got a life hack for you. You hit pause, and then on the way home, you get to listen to another episode.
That's right.
It's called The Other Half of the episode.
My wife just finished Stranger Things, and she's in my office waiting to talk to me about it. So,
oh, man.
I guess we got to end the show.
Okay, well,
give me a couple minutes. All right, let's do this.
Okay, so rate us on iTunes. Hey, we need some more reviews. It's been like 29 days since our last review. I just checked.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still awesome reviews, and we love that. Thank you very much. You can also subscribe to us. If you're listening in browser, just come on, you got a built-in podcast thing. You don't even have to use it. Just subscribe to get our numbers up.
Yeah. That's stupid.
We need those iTunes numbers up. I really want to get us up there.
Who cares about iTunes? You know what? I give up on iTunes.
I know.
You know what?
I get that, but
I give up on Apple.
Well, me too. But it has a lot of pull still in making a podcast popular, and so that's why we kind of rely on that right now. It'll change eventually.
It's stupid. We rely on iTunes in order to make a podcast popular, and then they don't care two shakes of a devil's wank in order to even update it and stuff. No, boo earns
indeed.
I was saying boo earns.
You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the no Brograph, no Mograph tee. We're also going to be doing some Feel the Bab shirts, as well as the Don't Track Me Bro hoodies for the holidays. So look out for that.
You know what? I was actually thinking about this. Right? Like, if we do the Don't Track Me Bro ones, we could do it in like long sleeve shirts. And if you actually want to use it for tracking, you could just buy like a size smaller than what you actually are. That's the thought. So yeah, I think the Paul Babb ones I hope are coming. And update on the Luminous Light plugin that should be coming soon. I'm holding off until R18 comes out and we get our copy so that I can double check everything works good with it, works well, and then I think we're going to release it.
Coolness.
So make sure to look out on that. For all you beta testers who got the email, send me an email back, because right now Sage is the only one who's tested it and tried to break it and hasn't been able to do it.
And give your opinion on what you think what good price point would be.
Yeah.
Because we're curious to hear what other people think on that too.
Yeah. Totes.
And we're on Facebook. We've been having a little more Facebook activity lately, but we're mostly on Twitter. Yeah. That's where all the fun is. We're on Instagram sometimes, and of course, YouTube at brograph.com. And that about wraps it up.
That wrapped it.
Yeah.
Like a fine Swiss cheese.
Like a Jimmy hat. Until next week, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
Have a good one.
Later, bros.
It's pretty good, I guess. Brograph.com, an online resource for learning critical components of Cinema 4D and After Effects, specifically catered to help you prevail as a motion graphic designer.
What's up, bros? Welcome to another Brograph motion graphics tutorial.
We give you professional time-saving tips, shortcuts, and lessons that help give you an edge over your fellow designers. Not only this, but our new Brograph Talks help you in your file management, hardware configuration, and client relations.
I love projects that scare me. When our art director comes to us and asks for something that I had never done before, man, it gets me pumped.
Join us for live sessions, check out our crazy Cinema 4D experiments, or just watch our Fun with Brograph series, where we show you practical applications for techniques learned in previous tutorials. Do this from the beginning, and your client is going to respect that, and they're going to respect you, and they're going to respect your time. Subscribe today and get automatic updates on the latest tutorials, tricks, tips, and inspiration brought to you by industry professionals Dave Koss and Matt Milstead, all with a slight dash of dry humor peppered in. Real nice banana.
Brograph.com, your source for tutorials that will help you thrive in the motion graphics industry. Don't just play around with Cinema 4D and After Effects, master it, and make money by becoming indispensable at your workplace.
We don't care how you get here, folks. Just get here. Subscribe now to Brograph Tutorials. It's pretty good, I guess.